Now, perhaps the one I finally figured out how to go live without complete and utter embarrassment. But the only way I learn is to do. Doing is senior to watching or learning. Most absolutely certain. I sure hope this is also being recorded. Good night. Hello. I'm going to start trying to do this. I can't sleep tonight, so I decided instead of recording something, I would go live and try this, learn from it, see if I like it. I would love to be able to find somebody to watch, say at, I don't know, midnight or talk to. So I'm going to ask tonight what we're going to do. I'm going to try something. I would like everyone to come here, either in the comment section or in, okay, we got people showing up. Good. Thank you very much. Repost the space, retweet it, re-Google it, re-snoogle it. Do whatever you got to do. I will be bringing some people up now that I know this is all working. If you want to say something, what I would ask you to do is just come hang out for a couple minutes, ask me anything you want, and then we'll keep the topics going. And then I'm just going to like chill out, drinking my second favorite since they changed the bloody ingredients. I will, from time to time, take breaks. I'm going to try to figure out how to present some stuff. What I do at Red, I see you on the stage. Thank you for coming up, buddy. I'll be right with you. I think that's the way I'll do it, guys. If I don't bring you up immediately, it's just, I got a little train of thought or whatever. I want to spend a little time getting used to just doing this solo. And what I intend to do, because I get a lot of great thinking going on at night. For me, I come alive at night. I don't know what it is, but I become very creative in the nighttime. If I'm like, I don't think I've ever painted during the daytime. And most of my painting is at night, and my funnest painting is deep into the morning, although it's probably not the best painting. So I'll normally will come in here because I'm a game player and start studying markets. I'll try to get things lined up with what I kind of look at without showing you too much sensitive data, and just hang out, read, study, and then I'll watch videos. I rarely watch a movie. Like if I'm going to watch a movie, it's not going to be here. I'm going to move somewhere else. It'll be a movie or a documentary. Let's see here. Let me bring. I'll bring Red up here. Red, you can see I'm just kind of struggling trying to figure out the things to do. But and thank you for helping me with that.
Yeah, dude. Anything I can help you with.
Yeah. No, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. So, how long have you been doing this, and what's the biggest issue for you?
So,
and then you get to ask me a question.
Okay. I've been working with streamers since 2017. I was the guy behind the scenes that would set up the studios. And basically I got attacked by the left. I was working for some content creators on the right. They found out, they boycotted my business, review bombed me on Google. And it was at that time that I decided to actually get in front of the camera and talk about politics and crypto and live streaming and really what's going on in the live streaming culture. So I've been doing this pretty consistently since around 2012. And then I started my own business in 2017.
Nice. And your business is what? Give you a little bit of a free advertisement and then you can ask me a question.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I was a full-time video creator. I helped people that wanted to become live streamers, learn the hardware, learn the software, video editing. And then when AI came out, we created an AI course specifically for content creators to teach content creators how to implement AI into their content creating. So like we teach people how to use Midjourney to make thumbnails for videos, how to use LLMs like ChatGPT to write scripts and emails for their guests. And it's pretty much everything from equipment to editing to how to set up the software. So that's what we do.
Yeah. I did my first thumbnail tonight by myself.
How was it? Did you use Midjourney to make the background image?
No, dude, I stole it from somebody. It was that little Batman and Robin thing. It says, well, let's see if I can. Anyway, it was just one of these dumb ones. But, I think that's it's going to become really, really easy, right, to do that.
Oh, yeah. AI is going to make it so easy, man. It's already happening. If you're a content creator, you're competing against guys that have been using AI for 3 years. It's like trying to be in a fight with both hands tied behind your back at this point. If you're not using it, you're going against people who are. It's the same thing in business, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not... and for me, it's going to get better, man.
Dude, you're doing great, man. I'm glad that you started to talk about the things that you talked about. You and your brother are out here. You're representing the Bitcoin community. You're representing the right in the United States right now, which I don't even identify as a Republican. I identify as someone who is anti-degeneracy and pro-common sense. And unfortunately, right now, there isn't much of that on the left. The left has become completely delusional about what's actually happening in the country. So you and your brother, you're out here representing Donald Trump. You're talking about finance and what's going on in crypto. And I think it's really important because financial literacy is something we really need to get better at in this country, especially men. So many young men just don't know anything about this stuff. And it's because of channels like yours that they're starting to get interested in crypto. I'm a Bitcoin maxi myself, man. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, even outside the financial stuff, like the education opportunity for most people is it's staggering, and it goes back to your point about having to pay a tariff with Google for 33%. See, I think it's a well, probably a bunch of people in your space should probably cooperate if you can do that legally and actually say, hey, look, that is by any measure like draconian fees, dude. That's organized crime fees, 33%. I mean, they bitch at Visa making 3%.
Twitch was 50-50. Gary, Twitch, the video hosting platform, was 50-50. And then they'd make secret deals with big creators where if you were a big creator, they'd give you 70-30. But if you're just a normal person, it was essentially a 50-50 split for a long time. And then you had Kit come out and said, this isn't appropriate. We're going to do 95-5 because that's more realistic, taking 5% from the creator to keep our servers going. So
yeah, but
I hope the industry
how this
changes.
gets fixed faster than it's getting fixed, though, is if the consumer stops all his subscriptions that he's paying to third parties, that like the people that are going to have value. This is what we're talking about. People getting burned out doing this. There's going to be 2 types of people here. One, the connectors that bring a bunch of content together. Joe Rogan, monster connector, and he can hold the conversation. But also then there's going to be content providers, people that have the knowledge, the experience, a way to tell the story. And to best understand an industry or something, it's good to know the story from all sides, man. It's beautiful, right? If you can, like if somebody could dip their toe in, you could get an MBA here. You could literally get an MBA here and probably do it in 6 months. In a year, for certain, there'll be enough teachers, and by teachers, I mean people that have a lot of experience. And they have a way of being able to convey it, and it's gonna really change. I don't think the school system will be around in 4 years, man.
Imagine with AI jumping in on top of that. You know, I just had a conversation with Wolf Web 3, Gary, and I made a statement and I'm going to stand behind it. I said, I believe AI tutors are going to become multi-generational family assets. And what I meant by that is when I train
with constant upgrades.
well, every generation is going to contribute to the education. That's my point of calling it a multi-generational family asset. Is I train my AI tutor with my values and the things that I think are important that I want my kid to learn. He grows up with that AI tutor, becomes a parent himself, and then he adds his values and his insights, and that becomes a multi-generational asset that is passed down through families. And basically, depending on how good your ancestors were 200 and 300 years from now, depending on how motivated they were, if they were lifelong learners who had interesting, skill sets, it's actually going to make a difference. Because your AI tutor that you're born into a family, and the AI tutor that's been passed down in that family is going to have significant knowledge.
I get it, man. I totally.
It's crazy.
It's and it really becomes. I was having a conversation about all this robotic stuff the other night, and it goes to what is consciousness, original thought, and a consciousness, and then it made me like, ooh. Whole different evening, but have I ever had an original thought? I'm not sure. Really fascinating. Anyway, what question would you have, man? Because we're gonna do a little AMA. I'm gonna try this format to see if it keeps a nice flow going.
Yeah. So my question for you, Gary, and this is one I asked your brother too in a very similar way, is if you were 18 today and you were the product of just the public education system, right? So you're an 18-year-old, you grew up in this woke public education system, they failed you for financial literacy, but you get online and you find someone like a Grant Cardone, a Gary Cardone, someone like a Robert Kiyosaki, and you get interested in financial literacy. What is an actionable thing that you would do to catch up and make up for what the public education has failed to teach you? Like something actionable, like the name of a book, creating a schedule. Like what would that look like for Gary Cardone?
I mean, to go through the whole process, the first thing I would do is I would, one, I think it's a great question because I think most everyone, and they might not be 18, they might be 22, 28, 32, and you're thinking, hey, I actually don't know, have a clue or a plan. And I think if you don't have a plan in this next, what's rolling out, the amount of disruption that we were just referring to, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg, I think you become almost insignificant on the planet. More so than you might even be right now. I don't think would be a good place to just put your head down and go, well, gosh, it's all going to work out. Because, when I was leaving school at 21, that was 1981, it was in a deep, deep recession. And the boomers, we were at max, dude. At 18 years old, it was the most boomers entering the freaking job market. And I could spin this story. This is the problem with stories. I can spin this story and leave you there and go, oh, wow, even Gary and Grant got a job. Well, Grant didn't get a job for a long time. I went into big industry, big corporate, and got lucky, got a job, and kept it. But the true story is when I was leaving college with a B minus, maybe, only if I paid some fucking professor, did I have a B minus average. I was an absolute C student. Could have been a straight A student, but I only had 2 teachers that could hold my attention. I mean, really, I'm not being a victim. I just found everything so boring. And I think the truth is the even back then the method for teaching people that are 1 year or 2 years apart and teaching them the same way is insanity. It's like so stupid. It'd be like building a 36-inch pipeline and sticking 12 inches of gas in it, and you don't use any. I mean, you have to feed people what they want to learn. But I digress. Anyway, what I would say is the best thing that I can do is find out what absolutely I don't want to do. And I want to define how I don't want to live the rest of my life. I don't care if you're 32. Okay? Like, I hate paperwork. I will hire someone to do it for me, or a robot or something. Okay? I'm looking for someone to handle this shit. I hate it. I'm never going to get good at it. I have never needed it. Like, I've never needed to look at any of these envelopes. And I know that may sound really stupid, or maybe, oh, he can't do his own. I don't do it well. Okay? I can hire someone to do it. And most certainly in this world, I took one of these achievement tests right at school as you're, 6 months getting ready to leave college, and you realize, hey, I came from probably the same side of the streets you came from, and you realize, hey, I don't have a clue where I'm going. Don't have a clue what I want to study. I left college, had no clue what to do, terrified. And you go take one of these surveys for $1,500. They tell you, well, you should be a salesman. Like, I didn't do all that shit to become a salesman. I should not have gone to college. I could have just stayed at 18. This is the dilemma, right? Always, hey, how much education do I need for what I want and do not want to do? I also knew I didn't want to work at McDonald's every day. I didn't want to be a loser. Write all of those things down, okay? Because this is what happens. You leave college, and then you need to make some money. And then you go, okay, I want to this is my dream job. And your dream job is 1 in 1,000 million trillion. And guess what? On your first door knock, that 1 in 1 trillion job opportunity that you imagined, they probably have 30,000 people standing in line for that mofo. In fact, there'll be people get on their knees for that vision. So you're probably going to even have to build your vision. But if you remove all the stuff that you don't want to do, like, people should ask themselves, they go into big corporate and they never go, hey, how long am I going to stay here? Like, it's somewhere between 42 and 52, it is my opinion. If you have spent, say, 3 years of your career in a large corporate, you must make a decision somewhere in that bandwidth, I think. Now, this is just Gary's kind of observation, that you are either going to remain in big corporate, senior, middle management, and that's going to be your pathway, or you're going to jump out and leverage your contacts, your knowledge, and then go do it on your own and not have to do it in a more bigger company that is less democratic in the way they spread the funds around. Having said that, okay, huge era to listen to any successful guy or unsuccessful motivator guy or whoever's on a TV. Just because some guy sticks a TV and a microphone in his face, I would make people actually shut. I have no idea about Mr. Kawasaki or something. Maybe he's a cool cat. I don't know. I would just say to any billionaires that are Mr. Motivators and financial advisors that when they tell me they only have 30 Bitcoin, I'm like, hey, dude, what planet have you been analyzing? So I would really not trust most anything I hear from other people. And so where am I going with this? What's going to happen is that perfect job isn't available. So what you do is you end up taking something to pay some bills. And if it's on the do not do list, you do not do it. Okay, don't become a bitch. It is so easy to become a prostitute and not make any money. Okay, most every person I've ever met in business at some point becomes a prostitute. They have a price tag. They're willing to suffer, and by that, I'm not being really harsh, okay? I mean, I use kind of graphical language, and it's more from like I think the word fuck is a specific use case that a little bit like hand grenades, you know? You don't want to use them too often, but sometimes when you do need them, and, you know, boom, 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 boom. So once I know what I'm not going to do, for instance, I found myself looking for a job right out of college, a big pharmaceutical company, gave me some testing. I went and did the testing. They then stroked my ego and said, hey, dude, you scored higher than anyone that we have ever seen here. We'd like to offer you a job. And little did they know, it's because, yeah, dude, I was dealing and taking drugs when I was 14, you know, fucking partying like an animal, mixing up all kind of shit. And I just had a natural affinity for it. So that's the other message. Hey, whatever you're going to do, make sure you're in the field that you have a natural affinity for. And no analyst can tell you that. Okay, don't let somebody tell you, well, dude, you're an engineer per this study. I mean, nobody knows what your dreams are. I mean, tell me something I don't know about myself in those tests. See, this is the way I think. I don't need to hear what you think I should do. Tell me what I should absolutely not do. And then it leaves me with a massive field of things it helps me point my direction and not get confused. Like I knew I was not going to be a drug dealer, whether it was legitimate drugs or illegitimate drugs. I did not want to hang out begging a doctor for business. I didn't want to sell anything because I'm very critical of most products, and I'm not going to go sell something that's a bad thing. I can't do it. I've just been, I just can't commit the crime, man. And it's not that I'm scared to do the time. I mean, I am, but I can't live with myself. It's just not the way I'm built. So I knew the short road wasn't, not only was it not going to be the path, but I would blow myself up very quickly. I mean, I'm an extreme human being. I've done almost everything one man could possibly do in his lifetime. I've never shot anybody, thank God. And I've never run over anybody, thank God. But I mean, I've had a pretty interesting, fun life, not all of it in the middle of the fairway. I mean, I've made a ton of mistakes. I've never done anything evil, or in fact, never taken anything from another human being. And had to fight some pretty nasty little government fucks. But where was I headed with that? One, I could not have envisioned I did not envisage this. So I'm going to answer your question. I know I've been rambling, but the first thing is figure out what you're not going to do. The second thing is I could pump my stock right now. I could say, hey, call me and I'll spend 4 hours with you going through a drill, and you'll walk out of here and you will at least kind of know where your life's going. But in fact, you'll underestimate, for sure, you'll walk out of here thinking that you have grossly overestimated where your life is headed. And I'm going to tell you that if any goal you set, if you actually set that goal and look at it every day in your mirror, on a piece of paper, on your hand, I don't care where it is, you will manifest that goal and exceed it. Exceed it. Okay? I've never, ever got the freaking vision right, dude. It's always been much bigger than I anticipated, which tells me I don't even have the ability to really dream and think possibly I do not have that ability correctly, and most certainly no one listening to this has the ability for where we're headed, because we ain't ever been here. Okay? Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. That's why I'm so fascinated by AI, Gary. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Firedog over on your YouTube channel and give him an air horn. I know Gary appreciates the $100 super chat. What did you,
That's
Firedog?
really kind of
Thank
you,
you.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually would like you to take it back because Google's taking 33%. Now, I need some lawyers to tell me why that is allowed. It is gross offense. At least 20 times the fees that Visa and MasterCard, I think the most draconian gatekeepers on planet Earth, have their fingers in every piece of the financial system.
And they're at 2.9%.
Bro, I mean, like, they should be regulated out of existence. We can do this for a fraction of a penny if we use technology. And the very provider of this platform, who, by the way, has zero content. I don't see their board members coming on here providing their own content for their own platform. It's some schmo like me that spent, do you know how much money I have spent learning everything I've learned? Like not the shit, you know, one, I've probably spent 3 or 4 million on self-help, for sure. For sure spent at least 3 or 4 million. And at most every penny worthwhile, even the stupid ones. Because
Dude, that was the hardest thing for me to do, Gary. Gary, when I started my business in 2017, I did workshops to learn how to be a filmmaker, essentially photography workshops, video editing workshops. And for me as a small business owner, right, to actually go to Nashville, the biggest one I went to was in Nashville. I had to pay for my hotel, I had to pay for the plane, and then it was a weekend long boot camp. It was actually 3 days. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it cost me like $1,000. And as a small business owner, someone who grew up like to me, it was an astronomical amount of money at the time. It was just like, and it's like I'm giving this money to someone and I'm leaving with nothing, is what you feel like. But it's not nothing, because the things I learned when I came home, it put jobs in front of me. It helped me land business and deliver a product that clients wanted to pay for, but it's not tangible, right? And it's so hard as a business owner to invest in the non-tangibles. That's something I really struggle with, man.
Well, but you're investing in yourself, right? And you in order to... no sense in buying a tree or a plant and not watering it and fertilizing. I mean, look, my daughter, and I'm going to pop you out of here, but my daughter just said, I asked her tonight, because she's starting to look for colleges. I said, hey, how excited are you to get out on your own? And for me, I have trained these, I mean, I went into this deal with the kids of, hey, dude, at 18, you're getting the fuck out of my house. And I do that with great trust and admiration from both of them. This is what they need to do. She went on a trip to Costa Rica, to your point about the first $1,000 you spent on a hotel room or whatever you said, because I know what that's like, spending your own money on the future. And it's scary, right? Because like before it was only $100. Now you're like, hey man, I got to hang with Gary, dude. I can't like poke in here and go, well, I'm going to stay 30 miles away because it's cheaper. I mean, I totally understand that. But, you know, her point, because she's probably lived in 15 homes in 15 years. Her answer was, I cannot wait to travel again by myself. And I said, oh, really? Why? She said, because when I went to Costa Rica, you and mom had traveled so much. She had done at least 700 hours, okay? With me. I mean, she went everywhere with me on a plane. And I think she's traveled through so many airports. It dawned on me, wow, at 16, dude, to be able to navigate a major airport, any major airport in the world, and not be scared. She's walking around like and people are stopping her and going, hey, you're only 12, and she's totally comfortable. That for me, I'm proud of that, man.
Most adults don't have that, Gary. You've given her something that most adults don't have in their mid-30s or 40s. Hey, well, man,
you know, there's a study in airports that when people walk in the airport, their IQ drops about 10 points.
I believe it. I just want to say, Gary, I want to thank you for always supporting me and my content on X. You've been a huge supporter of the Divisive Content Show, you and your brother. And every time I get to have a conversation with you, I learn something. I appreciate the value that you offer, and you're really generous with your time. So I know you're doing an AMA and you're going to bring someone else up, but I got to give you an air horn. And
I need to
When
get
you're-
one of those, man.
Dude, when you're
I'm
ready
gonna end
to
up enjoying this. I'm sure the feedback. We'll see how the feedback works, but I think I'll end up enjoying this.
Dude, and when you're ready to get set up with the soundboard, I'll get you set up on this the Elgato Stream Deck Plus. We'll get that going for you. We'll get you some stream assets. We'll get you background music. Just hit me up anytime, man. I'm always down to help you
All
out.
right, man. Thank you very much, buddy. Good to have you. Hey, you guys follow this cat, okay? He's been a good guy. Look, I don't know many of these people, okay? I'm going to get a lot of shit for bringing on people I don't even know. But what better way for me to, like, help people, like, bash their like, you can come up here, don't abuse the platform, but, like, he's proved he's a cool cat, doesn't do anything stupid, and that's what we're here for. So it's an AMA with G. This is the first time I'm breaking my cherry tonight. It's 12:20 at midnight. You know what they say about shit that happens after 10. Maybe we can change that rule. Thanks a lot, buddy. Good to have you here, man.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah. So I'll bring up the next cat here in a second, but let me give some observation about how this is for me, this little experiment I'm running. One, I'm highly motivated by admiration. For me, there is no better way. I've heard this bullshit my whole life about, hey, everybody's in it for the money and money motivated. Like, there's 1,200 people in this room, and the admiration for me is, hey, you know what? This is the first time I've ever done this, 1,200 people in the room. One, it shows me, whoa, man, there's demand in this world, okay? Second thing is, now I don't really know what the demand is, but there is demand for sure. Y'all can't hear me? So anyway, when the admiration and the for me, and this is something I think everyone can learn, especially if you have employees, children, or spouses. Hey, admiration goes a lot further. See, for me, I don't have to work, but like I would do this if I think people are getting a lot of help and that it's good quality content. No sense in producing shit. It takes exactly the same amount of energy to produce a bad piece of shit than an awesome piece of shit. It literally takes no more work. Why people go sidestepping crap, I do not understand that. But anyway, so I want to thank you for the admiration. I'm just starting to see some of these comments. And the other comment I'll make, which I think is, I have to really manage my tempo here because I'm not used to no feedback. The other thing I will say here is that this, if you can see my screen, let's see. Yeah, this little screen of mine, okay? I just love this screen. I want to acknowledge that this product, in the weirdest, I would never have thought in a million years I would ever said this, but this product here, Bitcoin, and what it stands for has, I care less about the monetary value that I've gotten from this, which I have gotten monetary value, and I will get, but not even close to what I'm going to spank out of this trade. Let me tell you, you guys ever want to get excited? Okay, I need to just come on here and just like, why I like Bitcoin, but I think I'm about as bullish as you can get. Now, I do have a tendency to be hyperbolic, but when hyperbolic is due, hyperbolic should be used, in my opinion. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me, and financially, but more importantly, without using a bunch of fancy words like network effect and this law and that law, none of you people would I have met had it not been for Bitcoin. Not one, this would not be happening. I wouldn't be doing this. That kid that called me that's 18 years old that's not going to go to college and got a job already, he would never have known me, and the people I'm getting ready to meet would never know me. Only through Bitcoin, which I have now been in 4 different industries. No industry have I ever collected a group of a network of highly intelligent, opinionated, creative people. It's absolutely staggering to me, and I will build the case that there is not one penny of value that's built into this chart, not a penny of value for all of us coming together. I don't even know how many people, okay? No chance. This is now almost I think one of the things it's doing, it's filling in a lot of gaps, and it's acting like glue around a central theme of freedom. And what is freedom? Could do a whole show on, hey, what is freedom? I need to start taking some notes, actually. Well, what I need is somebody tell me about an AI device that can just listen to all this and then tell me. But this truly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience and opportunity, and anyone sitting on the sidelines, okay? I don't care how long you've been here, 13 years or 13 days. You really need to pay attention to this. And if you want freedom, because Red was asking, hey, what would you do? This Bitcoin offers an 18-year-old kid to get into a position. I was running numbers the other night for Sam, the young man that works for me, 27, and I think he'll be worth $1 million in 10 years. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be worth well over $1 million. And it will all be because of Bitcoin. And he's going to meet a heck of a ton of people. So with that, why don't we do this? Let me go through a couple of comments. I'm going to clean the stage up a little bit, not clean it up, maybe get the screen off of here. Bitcoin's moving too. I like it. In fact, the whole complex is moving. I'm going to pop Chris Hack up here. Chris has been following me, I think, a little bit. I think he's a neighbor. Chris, welcome to the room, man. Love having you here. Appreciate the support. What you got?
Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you hosting the space and letting me come up here to chat.
Good to have you, man.
Yeah.
What's on your mind? What you got?
Not much, man. I saw you put out the horn, said that, you were hopping on StreamYard. It looks like a couple people in the comment section were wondering how they could talk to you. So if anyone is wondering how they can hop on, I think, Gary, you posted a link to StreamYard.
Yeah, did I do that right?
Yeah, you did it right.
I think
some people over in YouTube or X were just curious on how they can hop in and request a chat. But yeah, just curious.
I don't know. How did you do it? You came right through X?
Yeah, I came straight through X, and then just hopped on StreamYard.
Righto. Well, you got any questions, Chris?
Yeah, I just had one question for you, Gary. Right now, I'm in a transitional point in my life where I've started as a solopreneur. I've worked in healthcare for the last 10 years, and now I provide automation as a service and integration as a service. And I'm looking to find ways to find more funding for my business. So from your perspective and from what you know today, what are some advice or, talking points that you could give me as far as identifying, more funding, identifying more cash flow? I'm just open to opportunities and new ideas.
Yeah, look, I don't know anything about your business, but I think fundraising for most entrepreneurs is the worst part of the business. They hate it. I hate it. I don't actually like raising money for my own things. One, I'm too close to it. And I think sometimes other people can better explain and promote your business than the entrepreneur. Plus, it doesn't take your eye off the ball. So I might look for somebody that's a general promoter. They take a vig, they take a fee, and pay somebody to help you. Now, if you're incorporated, I'm not a lawyer or anything, so. But if you're incorporated and or public, I think you can't, do any type of compensation to those people. But look, fundraising is hard. The cheapest money is family and friends, in my opinion. The cheapest money by percentile is family and friends, and the most expensive money is family and friends. So be wary, in my opinion. I don't want to color anybody's thing on doing business with families, but I could write 2 books on how to lose $250 million by doing business with your family. And you may not think that's possible today, but if you're successful with your endeavor, you're going to be successful. It's going to grow, and the problems associated with a big business are really different than a small business. So people set these up and they never think really. I mean, they blurb it, but when it really does become successful and the partners or the owners or the shareholders have, let's say that you build a business at $10 million and you're like, hey man, I'm going to build it to 100. And one of your shareholders, original founders, like, yeah, I'm okay with 10 million. I want out. You know, maybe they get satisfied faster than the other partner. So there's all kinds of things with partnerships and family. On doing the revenue. Revenue solves every problem. You won't have to raise money. If you just focus on revenue, you will not have to raise money. I tell every founder, like, literally every business I have founded, I have not raised money for ever. This business that I invested in, that I own half of, called Node 40, I've invested money, but not as much time and energy. Nor am I going to, because I don't want to. And now I know how to get returns equal to building businesses and exiting them than having to run an operating business. Right now, you're running an operating business, dude. I'd make revenue. I would do everything I can to do revenue, sell more widgets at a lower price, or sell less widgets or a few more at a higher price.
You got it.
Thanks for being here. Love having you, man. Appreciate it.
Always, man. I appreciate you, Gary.
Yeah. Good book for you to read. Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, man. Because you're not a sales guy, and I can tell right now you're not a sales guy. Maybe you don't even dig it, but most people really, really, really grossly misunderstand sales, real sales. If you read that book, I think you'll have a different perspective, and it doesn't really matter what. Notice I didn't even ask you what you sold or what business you're in. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of these businesses, I see these real estate gurus, oh, it's different. Well, actually, it's more simple than every other business on the planet, real estate is. And yet we have so many talking mouths on it. It's hilarious. I mean, anyone could make $1 million in real estate.
Yeah, I was, from a sales perspective, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think there's a book called Integrity Selling for the 21st Century. And if you're familiar with that, it's really about being an advocate for the consumer or an advocate for the customer, irrespective if your product is a good product fit for them or not. So I'll definitely take your book recommendation, and I always appreciate your feedback.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Og Mandino, he's a master, man. You'll get a bit more out of it than that other book, but love the introduction on it. Appreciate that. I'm going to pop you out of here, or you can you eject yourself or not?
Yeah, I can leave the studio.
What do you have to hit? You just
gotta hit the button. Peace.
Okay, man. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you. Let's go take a look at my favorite girlfriend right now. By the way, this is my girlfriend, okay? She's bringing me so much action. It's unbelievable. You know, I actually describe Bitcoin as my analogy is actually that she's the if you found the perfect woman on planet Earth, or the perfect man on planet Earth, and you knew that woman couldn't degrade, I mean, she never gets old. What you buy today never changes, and it never degrades. She'll even let you, I mean, the product will let you sell off, prostitute it almost, sell it off if you absolutely need to. You can get rid of a leg. It's violent, volatile, much like a woman every 30 days. I mean, the volatility, but you know it's going to be there. You know it's going to grow. It's going to grow in value. It's not going to decline in value, and it's not going to bitch. It can't be seized, raped, or terrorized by anyone. Doesn't betray you. If I could find a woman like that, I'd pay at least $69,000 or 70, or maybe 700, or 7 million. Dude, I'd pay 7 million for that girl. I'd go in debt up to 70 million, I think, for that girl. Now it's starting to become very expensive having a partner. It might just be more better to be alone. This is a once in a lifetime experience. I sure hope that I'm right here. But I think I am. There isn't anything. I implore anyone to come up here and do it on radio or video and explain to me how being extremely concentrated in this asset, Bitcoin, not the other shit. The only one that has its own asset class is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only asset on planet Earth that enjoys its own fucking asset class. Nothing else fits in there. Everything else is DAI, digital asset industry. And Bitcoin's going to suck so much of that basket. It's going to suck so much of it. It's so clear to me what's going to happen. And I think 99% of the people are grossly misunderstanding and underestimating, in particular, some of the older people. It's staggering to me, but I've seen this before. It has happened. You get too close to the weeds, and then the market runs away from you, and it outdoes what you thought it could do, and it left you behind. I have seen a lot of people go through that. All right, well, let's see. We've got, what do I want to do here? KG came to the stage. KG, oh, my man. How are you, sir?
Good,
It's
Gary.
Good to see you. Welcome, KG. How you doing, buddy?
Bro, if I was any more bullish, I wouldn't be able to lift the horns off the ground.
Whew, that's pretty bullish.
How are you?
I'm good. I have something to do with the 3 or 4 hours that I'm probably not going to sleep tonight. So doing this is kind of interesting. I need to get if I'm going to do it though, I'm going to have to get a little area where I can switch cameras and walk outside, because I am like horrible at sitting down for long periods of time, and I will want to smoke a cigarette about 20 minutes ago.
I actually understand completely. If I'm talking on the phone, there's a 99% chance I'm pacing.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? You want to tell everybody about you and then ask me a question?
Sure, I mean, if you're going to give me the opportunity to shill a little bit, I guess I will, but that's not why.
You get to shill you for 10 to 15 seconds and then get into the A part of it.
Beautiful, thank you. I'm KG. I'm the founder of InternetMoney.io. We're an innovative crypto wallet. I've been full-time crypto. It's my only source of income for the last 2.5 years.
Well done, KG. Good to have you here, buddy.
Here.
So what's on your mind, or what kind of question you got?
Well, man, you have triggered in a positive way, inspired rather, a lot of thoughts while I was back there listening. But the reason I jumped on mainly was I just want to be in your company, in your circle as much as possible. You're constantly elevating me, so
That's
on
kind, buddy.
On every
Very
opportunity
kind.
to do that.
Very kind. That's very kind, and thank you. I think I have found this whole era of people, so from the very young to older people, extremely helpful. There's it's becoming clear to me that there is a group that is very terrified of advancement. I think there's a lot of people that are just really, really terrified, and they're like, hey, the whole world's changing. Don't understand this Bitcoin stuff. But the truth is, there's a whole lot of stuff they didn't understand before Bitcoin, too.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're just run over with fear. Their massive language gap, APU, CPU, GPUs, talking about, electricity in different ways, quantum computing. And then you've got mainstream media, which is, dying by the moment. And I wish I had a soundboard. Reed, let's get the soundboard up, okay? It couldn't happen to a better group of people. But these companies, these whole constructs are just failing. Hollywood's failing. I think people are just either waking up or they're just gonna take more Xanax. But I think this Hollywood thing, like, can you imagine being Oprah Winfrey right now? Because her downside moment is that she knew and didn't say anything. That's her worst thing. And let me tell you, that's just satanic at the very core. To sit there and be a voyeur and therefore be a gateway keeper, okay? You know, I fired customers over behavior I thought was outrageous, dude. But these people had to, like, support all of this. This is high organized. You know, this could happen. If this happens and Trump doesn't win, this country will go to civil war. Okay, and not just about that, but then it's about everything else. I think that people will be like, hey, whoa, you made me take needles, stick shit in my arm. You then, now I realize for the last 40 years, Disney and everything that came past Disney has been a complete scam. No heroes. All the heroes get revealed, dude. I think they all get revealed. So these platforms, I think everyone I've met here is so cool. Through Bitcoin, I've met some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, with the best ethics of any group of people, with the highest level of hypocrisy also.
Oh, yeah.
Of any group I've ever met.
For sure.
The hypocrisy, dude. Whew, jizzle, dude. I mean, it's cool being tribal, but woo, man, the hypocrisy. And not everybody. I'm not smashing everybody, but like this Michael Saylor thing. I kind of know exactly what he said. I don't think he said anything that was dumb. He said sovereigns are not going to self-custody, nor is a public company. And a guy's probably not going to carry $150 million in a wallet. That's all he said. Okay? That's literally all he said, that wallets would be used for transactions and smaller volumes. I don't know why people go nutty. By the way, he's right.
What do you think is the most likely custody or holding method for somebody who is holding a large amount of their wealth in Bitcoin?
I think there is a plethora of options for a large player. And I think the options for a large player are bigger and wider and probably more required than a small player. So I could see an emergency bag with a small player, that a retailer that just says, hey, I have $50,000 or $5,000 or $500 and it's on my wallet and I'm running. It's my escape bag. Now, if I need to escape personally, I don't need $47 billion, right? I mean, I don't carry, 40,000 bullets with me when I leave either. I don't store 240 in my car and a surface to air missile. Although I think all those things would be really cool to have in the right situation. So for me, I think there is value to the exchange. There's value to the ETF. There's value to the surrogates. I think there's some value to being able to spank money into the crypto market and the degen market for certain people. And like, I don't make any of it bad. See,
dude, Emojify's going
I'm a
crazy.
Free market guy, dude. I believe that Bitcoin could have Bitcoin 0.2, Bitcoin 35. King Kong's going to win. Okay, my bet is on Bitcoin, BTC, and it's going to win. It's going to destroy everything, dude. It's Godzilla, King Kong on steroids and nuclear fuel. And like when I have a thesis that way, I can't not get really aggressive about it. But I'm not going to shame someone for believing in XRP.
So, another question for you: do you see
Or
Bitcoin?
if they choose to self-custody $150 million, it's cool, dude. If you want to self-custody, that's awesome. I mean, if you want to put all of it on an exchange or buy MicroStrategy, you have the right to do whatever you want with your funds. And you get to take risk. I have literally made so many mistakes that I need to probably make every mistake I've ever made. I deserved them, meaning that as long as I learn from them, I don't have to be ashamed of them. I just needed to make a mistake. So as long as you stay alive and you don't get blown up, dude, it's good. Now, I think some people right now are making a lot of mistakes. If you have the knowledge and you decided to sell at 3,000 and you didn't reload at 30, if you had the knowledge, dude, that's the guy. I think there's going to be a lot of people that do self-harm in this industry, and they're older and they've been around a long time. And the reason I say that is because the amount of looks that people look at me and they go, how can you be so bullish? And I'm like, bro, you've been here 13 years. Like, what are you talking about? You did all the hard work. This is when I would be doubling down now. That I can't imagine someone having a cost base of anything under $10,000 in it. Like, naturally, you should have, like, for me, on a trade like this, dude, I sell everything I own. It's such a one-dimensional trade. So how anyone custodies, clearly there's been a lot of fucking coins lost, supposedly. And where did that happen?
Hard wallets that got thrown away. People move, people ruin their computers. Self-custody. Remember the guy, the story?
Hard to throw away Coinbase.
He had like 300 Bitcoin in a hard drive that was in a landfill.
Yeah.
Well, that's the trade-off. Is there's risks with self-custody, but there's risks with exchanges. Insert FTX, Celsius, Mt. Gox, BlockFi. Everybody got rugged. Now Coinbase is arguably the Apple of crypto. So if they go down, we probably have bigger problems as an industry. But the risk is inherent in centralized exchanges. You do not own your money. They own your money.
If Coinbase goes down, okay, anybody holding Bitcoin isn't going to be happy.
I agree.
In or out. So no,
I agree.
Look, we this industry, saying that is like asking someone, hey, do you not concealed carry every day? I mean, you know how to shoot a gun. What, are you irresponsible? I just don't think it's not my business, really. Furthermore, I don't think anybody should talk about it, KG. Let's say that I do have $300 million. I'm never going to tell you that I have $1 on a wallet.
Sure.
Why would I do that? Like that, if I'm sitting on Fidelity, you guys can come bang on my windows all you want and point a gun at me, but I can't get in my Fidelity account right now. Okay, they're not going to allow a transfer of all of it on one phone call. It's not happening. So that's true. And that is good. That's so. I don't think anyone should talk about self-custody. Personally, I think it's dangerous as all get out. And you guys have been around long enough to know, you probably know buddies that got hammered in front of a bar or restaurant because they were, hey, I want your wallet, dude. I want the seed phrase. And if you don't get the seed phrase, you're going to lose your penis. Like my seed phrase with my $7 on Ledger, dude, it's coming out quick. Okay? I ain't losing my PP for fucking $6.
Isn't that why you should diversify? Some on a hot wallet, some on a cold wallet, mix it up a little bit.
That's why people diversify banking solutions.
Exactly.
Hey, Christopher, Cody, good to have you guys. I'm new at this, so pardon my rudeness as a host. How you guys doing tonight?
What's up, fellas?
Doing good.
Good. Why don't you guys introduce yourself? KG, thank you, buddy. Why don't you guys introduce yourself? Cody, why don't you go first, and then we'll go to Christopher.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in since 2017. I'm actually a financial advisor by trade, so I'm on the enemy side of this. But first off, I just wanted to pop in and say thank you again for your time. I love that you're doing this. You and your family have always been a class act to me. You and your brother have always shared your time with me pretty well. You always have a everyone is important mentality, everyone's equal mentality, and much respect for that, man. Class family. My question is this: is Bitcoin being held back slightly by the new opening markets, ETF futures, things like that? Because it seems like every prediction is spot on of what would happen since 2017, but it's all taken 2.5 times longer. My personal formula for why is politics plus religion divided by adoption size, right? That's to me what the lag is. To use your analogy from your talk earlier, is your AI tutor, your AI teacher, that should be here in 5 years. We have the technology. However, politics, regulation, adoption size, it's going to take 12 and a half years before that's actually in a classroom working on a mass scale. So like, is there something about the new markets opening for Bitcoin or crypto in general that is suppressing it in a way, right? Shorting the market to keep it sideways for a while. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, there still has to be a seller. Okay. I mean, to me, the question is who's selling 65? There's sellers. It is not me. I sold 12.8, gave him to Trump, and he sold them immediately, I'm sure. So someone's selling. Is it taking a long time? I don't. It took Visa, MasterCard 52 years to get 7 credit cards in your back pocket.
Sure.
You have become programmed to take all this plastic. I mean, but what we forget is these are 2 public companies that you've seen billboards. You don't even remember it, so ingrained in your brain. If every auto show you've been to, every sports show, every rugby match, soccer game, dressage event, Visa, MasterCard, Visa. I mean, massive, massive marketing expense to program a world to use plastic. In order for them to accomplish that, they also had to provide an insurance program called a chargeback or dispute mechanism that convinced the consumer and the merchant to use credit cards over cash. And it was trying to solve a problem, a fraud problem, and a cash movement problem. And it has done none of that, in fact. But my point is, it took 52 years for 2 companies who've done hundreds of millions of dollars of advertising to get financial services switched from cash, checks, ATMs, ACH to credit cards. That should say a lot. And by the way, they haven't squeezed off an ounce into China. Okay, they've been wholly unsuccessful. They're massive corporations, $300 million, but $300 billion market cap between the 2 companies, Visa, MasterCard I'm talking about. And all they're doing is taking from the whole food chain. So if it takes that long for Visa, MasterCard, who really wasn't disintermediating anything, I think we haven't ever... What business are you in, man?
Financial advisor.
Yeah, for big player, medium size, yeah. I mean, you know how hard it is for that company to make pivots and quick decisions. So, is it going too slow? I think if I would have told you, you said you came in 17. I think if I would have told you in 22 that the Bitcoin would have an ETF that would exceed gold's by 20x, that we'd be trading, that $50 billion a day of Bitcoin trades that is enough volume where I can, the guy that you like, Grant, when he comes on here and starts spouting his mouth, right? Hey, I'm going to buy 1,500 Bitcoin. I'm afraid I'm going to move the market. How long is it going to, he's doing a trick question on me. How long is it going to take me to buy it without moving the market? And I'm like, 10 hours. And he didn't believe it, right? But it's literally like 10 hours. You move nothing. This is a very, very liquid market, man. For 15 years, that's really not very long. And remember, this type of technology, my bet is that this is the best window to be here, because this, what growth that you see, you would have most certainly bet 100 grand that BNY Mellon wouldn't be having custody. Okay, or that the entire landscape has been fixed. We're going to have options, and we have Franklin Templeton thinking this is the holy grail, changing their entire business. Deloitte, head of digital, has 2,000 people working in it to do accounting, forensics, audits, quality of earnings. His statement is, of the millions of customers that Deloitte handle, few are into Bitcoin. But 100% of our clients will be impacted by Bitcoin. Citibanks all over this place. Okay, whoever you work for, it ain't one guy.
Yeah.
It's a team of people, and they're smart. And this is, to me, the awesome indicator that I can't ever get my brother to slow down enough. But now he's been broken now. Oh yeah, I tore him a new one. He's going to regret this, but he'll be okay, I think. But my point is, people look at the price too much instead of looking at the talent that is literally moving out of other industries, flying into this space. It was so clear to me 4 years ago. I'm like, whoa, man, there's some monsters here, dude. But I would be attracted to those people. There are monsters on the edges, the private equity venture guys. Sure. And I happen to know, I'm like, hey, there's too many smart guys that I really respect. They're the people that take the early entry kind of, they're the ones that made 8,000%, and they kept it. So, dude, I think, quite frankly, my $65,000 investment, if I were to do that today, I think it's safer today than when you were buying it in 17.
Yeah, I don't think it's not safe. I think it's just, you're seeing this, even if you look at the chart that you pulled up earlier, you're seeing this massive sideways to the cup and handle. That handle is just massive for length of time for Bitcoin. So I guess.
Well, how much longer, from your experience, how much longer has this goes back to 15, so this is a good chart for us to look at. Mm-hmm. How much longer do you think this period's getting extended out?
So that's my thing, is everybody thought, and I'm more or less speaking about those people who are creating the noise in crypto, being bullish on a dime or bearish on a dime. Everybody's like, oh, as soon as the ETFs get here, we're going to 100 grand. My thing is, it's going to take 2.5 times longer than you think it is. Everybody was thinking August. I'm thinking probably summer of next year, maybe winter of next year.
And what does the price have to do for you to feel like, okay, we're getting the right traction?
Oh, I think we're already in the right traction. I guess my thing about this is perfect for accumulating. If you haven't bought Bitcoin or you want to buy more, this is the time, because it's going sideways. This is a great accumulation phase, right? Like, that's what I see for me personally. I love it because every week I can buy more. It's great. But the price action for me, as somebody who's owned it since 2017, I'm going, man, I expected this price in 2022, 2021 even, right? We've gone through pandemics, we've gone through world wars, we've gone through tsunamis, a bunch of things that should have shackled fiat and really ran up gold and Bitcoin, things of that. And it just seems like right now, since these products have been introduced, if the SPY has a bad day, Bitcoin has a bad day, which is, for me, counterintuitive, because this is a hedge against the traditional.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But I'll tell you, first off, I think Bitcoin's going to do its. I see Bitcoin as a skinny redhead 24-year-old. Okay, she's just crazy, dude, and right, and I don't think that anyone's going to predict Bitcoin well, if at all. Even these power formulas, I'm like, come on, dude. This hasn't ever been modeled. Finite has never, ever been modeled. Now, to your point about the ETF, when was that? That was, you see this chart, right?
Yeah.
The ETF was approved. Let me just throw an idea by you here. There we go. The ETF was, forgive me, was approved around right here, right? Okay, so November, we start to know, we know back when. We know back here. We're here in ETF. I am in the right period, correct?
I think it was a little bit later.
Yeah,
Probably
excuse me.
April,
It was
July, something like that.
right. Oh, that it got approved. Yes. Yeah, maybe I'll have to look that up. But nonetheless, this movement right here, I think we were front run, Cody, by Wall Street naturals to about right here. 29.30 could even have been run up here, right? This was all run as the ETF was being approved. That's what I was saying, because it finally got approved. Where's my January mark at? Way back here. Yeah. See, it got approved on this day right here. Right? That's a Monday on the 15th. 11th, it got approved. It had already made a move from 16,000 to 42. Is that correct? Yes. You see my point? Maybe we've had a big chunk of the ETF run that was taking us to 100. And if we get there by the end of the year, I think that will probably have been accomplished. To me, that's on track to accomplish that. I think it's... What were you expecting, to be at 180 by now?
No, I mean, probably broached 100 and fallen way back down to 60 again or something like that, like a big retracement, and then built back up to like a solid 80 base. That's probably what I would have expected. It's just that sideways part of the handle is just so stable in Bitcoin terms that I got to think there's something there. Like, it's a beautiful chart. If you like, the chart is beautiful. The cup and handle is great. Long term, no worries for me personally. It's an accumulation phase. But my question is, why is that handle forming so tight? And does it have a relationship to what's going on with the new investment products that have been launched? Because to me,
I
they're
don't think
buying
there's
up
enough
the
volume out there, man. You would know better than me, but there's no option volume. So that's not getting suppressed. Now, there could be a reason. People bitch about, hey, who's selling it? What if a miner, I heard the other night.
Yeah, miners could be offloading.
Well, they could also be, of the options that are being bought or sold, just because someone does a straddle, for instance, 32 at 52. What if a year ago, when we were at 16 or 20, a miner gets a bid from Goldman and says, hey, man, I'll give you $32 protection. Well, this would have happened at around 40. I'll give you $32 protection. You'll never see below 32, but I'm going to have a call option on 52. Now, this would explain why you have people unraveling positions that are coming to term. Let's say that's coming to term, November 1? Well, yeah, okay, but the Bitcoin are most certainly going to get called on. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get spit back into the market, though. And the hedge, the guy that did the head, he achieved what he wanted to, which was probably took that $32 strike price on the bottom, on the insurance, on the downside, and probably took it to your bank and borrowed some money so he could buy some machines. And that's the value having those options here. I don't buy this. It's going to suppress the price.
I don't think it's going to suppress it long term. I'm saying that handle, I think, is the suppression of those products, similar to what you just said. I think those bigger houses those wirehouses going to the miners directly and giving that kind of straddle makes a ton of sense. But it's going to run out eventually. And that's when it's going to shoot
no,
back up.
they'll just get started. I think if you said to me, "Hey Gary, I build a case that volatility is going to dampen down," that I think is what we're seeing, right? And if you added the because you guys taught me that this run, where the run that started in summer was a little early for the halving. So that for me, that run before the January announcement, that wasn't about the halving. That was about the ETF. And we're at 180, 100, 200 days after the halving. Maybe we're taking our little time extending the halving explosion because we, went a little early.
No, it makes sense. Even if
I'm
they
just
front ran,
guessing,
like
man.
you said.
Hey, I'm just totally guessing, okay?
No, you're good. Even if you front ran, just like you said, or the option straddle, that all lines up because the miners would not be selling.
Correct.
The price would naturally stack up if the miners backed out of the game in summer.
Oh,
right?
most certainly. If there wasn't 425 Bitcoin hitting in the market every day,
Exactly.
most certainly, sir.
No,
If
that
they were
makes sense.
hodling, oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's perfect. That's my question, man.
Cody,
I
good to
appreciate
have
it.
you here. Good to meet you, man. Appreciate your very, very kind comments. Really, really appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, this is interesting. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave this chart up. I'm going to go outside, smoke a cigarette, and I tell you what. I'll bring you guys up that or in the room if you guys want to. Let's see. We got Chris, and well, I won't force you guys into that. Chris, I'm going to bring you up next. If you guys can just hang with me. This is when you want. In fact, Chris, if you want to pop up, let's see something. Chris, will you be comfortable introducing yourself on a solo layout? I'm gonna throw you in the deep end here, bro. It's to you.
Yeah,
Go
sure.
get it, man. Yeah, introduce
Great.
yourself. I'm gonna be listening. I can hear just right on the other side of it.
All right, great. Thanks for having me, Gary. My name is Chris. So I've been listening for a while. And really, so I'm just a proponent of decentralization, I guess you could say. I heard about Bitcoin back in 2012, I guess it is now, 2012. So I was kind of early to the party, I guess you could say, in some way. And then I went away. I had to go and do I did some time. So I did 7.5 years and was still telling everybody about Bitcoin where I was. So really, I was just trying to keep my eye on things there. Lost a bunch of, whatever I had in Bitcoin was gone by the time I got back because I was completely irresponsible and just running around being a lunatic. But what I will say is that the journey with Bitcoin kind of taught me about money, with the idea of my that I had the wrong idea about money. I don't know, just from talking to other people, the journey with Bitcoin is like a journey. It's almost like a political, spiritual, economic, and then around again a couple different times to start coming to certain conclusions. Well, it was that way for me anyway. So I was like kind of somewhat of a street guy, like educated, but somewhat of a street guy. So Bitcoin was, I guess I looked at it as like my way out. When I got in, it was around like 2 and change, 3 and change hundred. I'm talking about 200 or 300. And it was like incredibly hard to buy it. You had to wait a very long time for transactions to catch up. Things were just in its infancy. It was really exciting. There was a place I'm in New York, so there was a place on Wall Street where Bitcoin Magazine was. And I would go there and I would talk to people like guys like Charlie Shrem were there. Roger Ver would be, not like constantly, but these people were around because Bitcoin was an infant. They were trying to blow this thing up. And everybody eventually did. I ended up going away for a weapon because I was involved in things, obviously, that I should not have been at the time. But it gave me a lot of time to reshape my life. I've been home for whatever it is. I came home at the end of 21. And since then, completely obviously reshaped my life, but everything I do is decentralized at this point in terms of finance. I don't really deal with the US dollar other than shoving it in and, dumping it into Bitcoin and then bouncing it around. I'm a developer. I had some experience before I went away and really jumped hardcore into development, software development. And there's Gary. Wow, he popped back up. I didn't know how long.
No, I've been listening to you for a little bit. No, thank you for that. Hey, let me ask you a question, and then I got a bunch of questions, comments that I'm gonna get to. But what was the most valuable thing you learned inside?
To enjoy my own company.
Wow, dude. I think you probably gave everyone here that's listening, I don't know how many people are listening, but that's probably the greatest gift that I've heard, greatest piece of information. You want to add anything to that?
Just really quick, I could touch on it because it's somewhat of everybody's got their own inspirational story, right? Because it should be, it's your life. I was doing the wrong thing. I went away. My father died 3 months into me being locked up, and then my kid died. My infant son passed away. Now, all these things happened. And then they offered me like 30 years because I got arrested for a weapon. Obviously, I didn't do 30 years. All these things like really made me step back and be like, whoa, what just happened? And just appreciate life.
How old were you, man?
Well, I'm 42 now. So I guess when I got locked up, I was like 30, 31, something like that.
Yeah. Well done, buddy. You're very articulate. Very well done. I appreciate you being here. I don't know if you have any questions that you want to ask, but feel free.
Yeah, I sure do. I really wanted to get into this because, we're all kind of thinking the same thing. The DOD just released this, like they're allowed to use lethal force against citizens for these protests. Now, I'm in New York. I'm like right in New York. I'm in New York City. What does it look like? And like, I'm hoping, because I don't talk to anybody that's got any sort of real like political leaders. Like, do you guys have a plan for when, or is it up to the citizens? And if it is, how are we organizing this? And I'm not like trying to be some rebel rouser, but it's kind of
unstable.
Yeah, it's like just disconcerting. In a lot of different ways, like we got the migrant thing going on, and beyond that, even the financially. I don't like to get too much into the weeds with things, but just like flipping this thing over to a digital, a central bank digital dollar like that, and just being like, oh, it got hacked, so we're just issuing everybody these coins. You didn't lose nothing. Everybody would just be like, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. That's a very complex trade, man, and it creates a lot of domino effects, in my opinion. It puts the Fed in between J.P. Morgan and the consumer. That'll be the biggest fight you've ever seen in your life. So I actually think the judicial process in the United States will work. That kind of stuff, to me, okay, we can go through the law process, and we do need a law process. If we have a president who is not using regulation as a weapon, and if regulation isn't like constantly constraining innovation and your ability to go to work every day if you want to work an extra 3 hours a day, dude, like you should be able to do that. In fact, I think, if you're going to be in prison, maybe people should, hey, you're going to work the highways too, man. And if you want to be homeless, hey, you know what? Here's a highway we need to build. I don't know why this is so complicated, quite frankly. I think if I was president of the United States, okay, cool, man, you got all these problems. I'm going to give you some Prozac, and you're going to go out there and build that highway over there.
Yeah.
You want universal income? Awesome, dude. You're going to work 8 hours a day. I got no problem giving you some cash to go build that road. That we need all this stuff. It'd be an awesome way to rejuvenate the whole world. Happy to give you income, happy to give you a job. The government will give you a job, but you're going to actually do work, real work. Okay, or we'll hire robots to do it, and that's where we're headed. I mean, that's the cool thing, is that we're not. I don't think we're going to get trapped here. So as long as we get surrounded and we have platforms like this, and we have people who are willing to come do this and connect people. See, you need a platform where people can come and go and start asking questions, and it feels safe. They see guys like you and then guys like other guys, you know, it looks more like a community. And that's why I like Bitcoin more than the value, just the price action. The community thing's really cool. So I really appreciate you, man. I've got like 1,000 questions to get to, so I'm going to pop you out, and I'm going to do a little Q&A here and go through the comments. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Oh, guys, this is kind of interesting. So look, I'm going to just pop through some of these comments. If you guys have any criticism about what we should be doing better, man, we got like a few comments. It started at 7. No, I didn't start at 7 o'clock, did I? No, 11 o'clock. When Bitcoin moon you thinking? I think post-election this thing goes stupid if we have an election. In my opinion, January or February, if this hasn't really done what one of my, Cody, I think it was, we get the action we're looking for, I will start reassessing, hey, what's going on? Because it would make no sense for me that we would have, because I actually think we're on time, perfect timing. The ETFs had to work their way into the system. The first people that bought the ETFs, IMO, this is all Gary's view. First off, we got a big run from Wall Street naturals. They knew it was coming. They started all buying Bitcoin. Don't blame them. I would have done it too. I'm sitting in Goldman Sachs office, and I know they're going to go for, damn right, I'm going to go buy some Bitcoin. The ETFs get launched. You're shooting for $1 quadrillion in real money. Okay, there are layers of these banks. I wish Cody was still here because he could really speak to this. But these banks are layered just like an ocean. Think of an ocean. You're a little minnow. Your Bitcoin's a little minnow. Okay, all you guys, all you anarchists, little minnows. I don't care if you had $1 million or $1 billion. You're still a little minnow in the big ocean, right? And as Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger, it starts going deeper and deeper. Guess what grows? All the other things that are eating things, predators, producers, killers, whatever. They're all serving a purpose in that universe. And as I've said, if this thing launched in March, it would take at least 6 to 9 months for the largest of the large to start deploying. And here we are. I think we'll start, and we'll see the S13s. We will see the S13 show up. I think that's what it is, the S13. And you'll begin seeing, like if you start to see the state of Illinois on their own balance sheet, put Bitcoin. If you saw the state of Texas or Florida, much less if you saw a scattering of pensions, big pensions like Calpines or somebody like that, smash $1 billion into Bitcoin. You start seeing that, you're not only seeing the flow. See, right now we're seeing the flows, but we have no way to qualify the flows. But I assure you, the money that's coming to Bitcoin today, you guys in Bitcoin have never seen this kind of money. Okay? This is very, very different money. This money's coming in, it's staying in. And then it's going to hypothecate like a motherfucker. It's going to do all kinds of, in 2 years, we'll be trading electricity spreads, electricity Bitcoin spreads. If they're not already doing it, it's going to be crazy. So that's what I think mooning is. By the way, if you know you're going to the moon, do you really care if it takes you 3 months or 3 years? Do you really care? Okay, all you care is that you get there safely. I'm not talking about 30 years, by the way. I'm talking about, 3 months to 3 years. Go run a calculation. If you can't do it, go do ChatGPT and say, hey, I've got $69,000. I'm going to bend over backwards, do what Christopher's doing. Hey, I can go make 69 grand somewhere. I'm going to make 69 grand, turn it into Bitcoin immediately, and then run a calculation at 23, 33, 43%. over 3, 5, 7, and 10 years, and you'll be stupid not to go, like, fly to Florida and go cut some trees up. Literally, there are people paying people right now to cut trees up, and it's probably all cash. So do not tell me that you can't earn a Bitcoin. I don't buy it. Okay, I know few people, including myself, that work to their full maximum potential. So I don't buy it. I'm happy to challenge anybody on it too. Joe C, thank you, Joe. That's good. Joe, these glasses. I started wearing glasses. The lights are killing me. I didn't notice it, and somebody said something about it. They gave me the not these glasses, but something else. I don't think I could do this. I think I'd get worn out. It's weird, but it really does help me. And I think also it might help me not get all focused on me. So maybe I'm tricking myself, but it does help my eyes. Let's see. We got a few more comments here. Real estate in Tampa, commercial and dental would love to join on the chat. Okay, good to have you, Fire. Oh, I see you down there, Fire Dog. I'm not really that interested in real estate, guys. I got to tell you, I think I'm going to be, but I think it's still a little early. Let's see. I'm walking in the park with my dog at 4:30. Summer, winter, the same. Fresh air and sunrise sharpen the soul, mind. Bitcoin has changed my life in many ways. Peachy says, Gary, you are immense. That's an awesome comment. Thank you so much. 7 and nice. Coolio, Julio. See, I don't even know how to scroll over these and not. See, we got a comment about my broham. Give a shout out to my brother Grant. He has created an unbelievable vision and really followed through. Gary, you, O0026, Gary, both have been extremely generous with their time to me personally. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, you'll be generous to somebody one day. Most people ain't going to ask for help, but you know who needs it. Gary, do you believe hyper-Bitcoinization will happen? I'd like to really understand what that definition means. I think I know what it means, and I think, I did not invest in Bitcoin with the thesis that it had to go to hyper. I don't, not one part of my investment thesis was that we would go hyper Bitcoinization, which in my opinion means feds are using it. This is the global currency. If you mean that we're using and have adopted it at the peer-to-peer level so that Firedog is moving Bitcoin every day in value, first off, I think it's a gross waste of Bitcoin to be utilized that way, Phil. But I also think, and I'm happy to have a conversation sometime, maybe not tonight at 2 a.m. But one, I think it's not the right stage for volume of peer-to-peer. Most certainly, it's not a good use of the store of value. And there's nothing you can do to tell me that using Bitcoin to buy a bag of potato chips, unless it was at a deep, deep discount to dollars, and any fucking dollars. To use Bitcoin to buy potato chips is, in fact, I think it should be a mortal sin, and you should be committed to, Bitcoin hell, Roger Ver club or something. I don't know. You got to go somewhere for a year and a half because it's so valuable. Why would you do that with Bitcoin? And you can't build a case that you're gonna grease the skids of commerce with your potato chip purchase to a merchant who is going to turn it into fiat. Okay, sorry. That's what's going to happen unless you're in El Salvador, and probably 90% of the time they're going to turn it into fiat because they need it. They need fiat to run their small business. Thank you, and thank you for your question. Look at this, man. We got people smashing some money. I think it's probably my biggest money day because I don't charge anything. See, I've decided, guys, I am not going to take advertisers that can influence me in any way. In any way. I've had people approach me. I'm not, first off, I'm not doing it for money. Secondly, most likely I'll give every penny away, actually. Because I'm learning something from this. Okay, this is really interesting to me. I freaked out the other night. I was painting and I had a realization that was like, wow. And I have the same thing with this thing. They're all coming together. It's around teaching. I actually am a little shocked because I actually always thought I'd be a teacher when I was a kid. I always bitched about the teachers. I'm like, I could be a better teacher than that guy. And it's kind of funny how it's coming around. Weird. Anyway, bro, $99. I got to say, $33 going to Google. We got to figure out how to get my wallet up so we can do this properly. And I don't need you to send me Bitcoin. Okay. Like I would rather you send me fee. In fact, this is how much I like Bitcoin. Okay. And value it. So you guys don't misunderstand my potato chip thing. I would rather pay the $33 to Google and you not use your Bitcoin. Now, if you want to smash Dogecoin, Schmogecoin, whatever fucking stupid coin you want to send me, let me set something up and I'll handle that. And then we bypass all these fees. That, you could even send me a stable coin, man. I don't really care, okay? Even if it's got some evil government stamp on it, I can wash it off in the old digital washing machine. But really appreciate the $99, dude. That's very generous. But I do think that this is the right model. Okay, I mean, imagine this guy doing $99. I mean, hell, there's people up here that done $200. Firedog did 200 here and 200 here, bro. I mean, come on, you're starting to embarrass me. Honey, buy a Rolex. Just kidding. No, dude, that's very generous. Thank you. See, I'm not like my brother. My brother would be pounding on the guy. He's like, get that guy's number, call him, and do another sale on him. Add a couple of zeros. He's rich. I've never been good at that part of the deal. Fire Dog dental business. Okay, cool, dude. Seems like dental business is good. Hey, let me ask you, if somebody's in the dental business, my 17-year-old came to me today and said all 4 of her wisdom teeth need to be pulled out. Is that bullshit or what? Okay, is she going to die? I don't remember having my wisdom teeth pulled out, much less 4 of them all at one time. But let me know if I'm getting the old ream job from the dental people. Oh, I hate going to the dentist. Jesus Christ, I am such a little girl. I'd rather you cut me wide open. I wear my sunglasses at night. Wow, is that a deal, huh? I thought people would laugh at me. I can see in the dark and the light. Oh, you all very, 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 very magical. My dogs can also see in very different color. So you go outdo my dog. Why you not like dog anymore, man? They can see at night. Now, is that a racial slur, what I just did? I thought I was just making fun of somebody's accent who, oh, look at this. My man, I like that guy. He's a good guy. If you guys aren't following Hitch, you should. We're going to probably do a show on, I'll get to you guys on the stage. Look at old Prometheus down there. He's just, damn, man. I got to get on a stage. Fire Dog's probably like firing up a big old goofer or something. Fire Dog smashes, can I join local to Tampa? Sure you can join, bro. Shit, you paying me so much damn money. Come on up, dog. Fire Dog, how you doing, bro? Thank you. You can't hear me, man?
I think so. Can you hear me?
What up, dog? What up, man? Hey, does anybody have a cloud machine we can do a hand, popping champagne bottles? And thank you very much, buddy. Very kind of you.
They're good.
What's up, man? Tell us who you are.
I'm from Tampa, Derek. Nearby you, actually.
Yeah? You down in Tierra Verde?
I worked as a firefighter for St. Pete for like 15 years.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. So the little department down here, right?
I
Were
worked for
you
St.
here?
Pete Beach for about 5 years, and then I
Right.
worked for the city of St. Pete for another 10.
Yeah. Well, how do you think we're going to do from these two storms, man? I mean, you must be connected to buddies all over the place, right?
Yeah, we're good. We're good now. I think it's just going to be a like picking up the trash and picking up the branches, but overall, that storm would have went 30, 40, probably 20 miles north. Devastation.
I agree, dude.
Yeah.
Devastation. It it
Devastation.
uh it woke me up. They just sent me the bill for insurance. I called my insurance guy. I said, "Hey, because last year they called me and they said, look, we're probably not going to be able to hold your rate." And I knew that was coming, right? I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
fuck off," They gave me
Yeah.
the quote. It was, I think they said, "Hey, we're going to go to 175 from 54, man."
Yep. Yep. No, we had I have a couple commercial properties. They went up from 2 years ago. They went up from about 25, 30,000 to 98, 100
Yeah.
for just no reason. So God forbid next year. So
Well, I closed it at 74 today. I didn't even mess with them. I didn't pay it last year. I'm like, I'm going to call your bluff, and they kept the rate. This year, I called them and said, "Hey, what are you guys going to do?" They added, went to 74. Said, "Send me the paperwork." Didn't even fuck with them. I wouldn't insure this area, dude.
no, I mean this was the closest it's been for 100 years. So I don't think it's gonna come back. Hopefully not. Yeah. So
Yeah, I can't imagine the turmoil up north from Helena, man. There's like I see Clearwater and Bel Air Beach. I used to live at 220 Gulf Boulevard. He said he didn't get that area, man. I mean, the Saint, not Saint. Well, you're in Saint Pete, but the Don Cesar had to get seriously wet, right?
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as what people think it was.
Well, the debris alone, man. There's nobody open down there.
Well, yeah, debris. I mean, it was bad. It was
Yeah,
bad.
it's a massive
But
amount of debris, right? I
yeah,
mean, I have a friend that's in Snell Island, and their entire, I mean, they're living in a $8 million home, dude. I mean, just wiped, not
yeah.
gone, but full, totally wet. Lost their cars, lost 4 cars. Who owns 8 cars? I was
No, it
like,
was
dude, you deserve to lose 4. Claim the insurance and don't ever buy them again.
exactly. No, it was bad. It was bad, but we got lucky. We got lucky. So
So what do you do for a living now?
so I retired early. Me and my wife, we opened a bunch of dental offices in Tampa. So we have a bunch of dental offices in Tampa. And then I got into commercial real estate development. So I build medical plazas, like the little multiple, anywhere between 5 and 10,000 square feet buildings, anywhere between 5 and 10 of them, and buying land, like raw land, building it up, and anchoring it with like dental offices, to be
Right.
honest. So
Yep.
kind of like the Publix and McDonald's process that they used,
Yeah, no, I get it.
but
I
did
get it.
that, and just kind of did that and retired about about almost 2 years ago now, and did my thing. So now always been big into crypto since about 6 years, and kind of mixed it all up, and that's where I'm at now.
Good, man. Have you found an investment that does better than that?
What, crypto?
Yeah.
I think it's all about risk. It's all about the risk and like how much money you need. You have to have money to make money. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of things, truly, I think a lot of things happen. People don't understand that you have to have some sort of income, a lot of income to be able to handle the problems that happen with trying to make money. I guess that's the way to handle it. Crypto's the easiest way. You put money in, you just hold it. You just don't leave it. But But when it comes to real estate, when it comes to business, you have to be able to drop, I mean, 20, 50, 100 grand next week in a matter of a second. And if you can't, you have a problem. So that's where the problem lies. But in crypto, it's kind of like you hold and you're good. But when it comes to business, but then again, devil's advocate, you can't get into crypto unless you have a business or some sort of income to
Well,
be
that's
able
not
to
true. No, that's
do.
not true.
That's my
That's
feeling.
not true at all. People can move out, reallocate their holdings.
Yeah, I agree.
Retired people can. Hey, I don't want to be in Philip Morris anymore. I want to be in Bitcoin.
I agree. I agree with that. But at the same time, like a lot of young people, I'm young. I'm 32, so I'm young. But
Wise for your age, young man.
yeah, lots of mistakes. So
Yeah. Well, let's
so
hope you make a lot more.
I'm
in the
trying.
future.
Me and my wife are trying. Me and my wife are trying. If you need dental work, come to our offices.
Okay, cool. What's the name of the practice?
Smile Crab Dental Studio. Wife's
Smile.
made.
Okay. Awesome. I think I've done some business with you guys. One of the kids or me, maybe.
Hey, maybe. Hey, Smile Crab Dental Studio. We have a bunch of offices around Tampa Bay. Look it up. Hey, you're more than welcome anytime on us. No worries.
Thank you, buddy. I'm
Great
looking
meeting you.
for a way to do teeth whitening without. I hate it. I hate the acid or whatever. I can take you cutting me. I hate that process, man. Come up with a good solution for that. Let me know. Good to have you here, man. You guys follow this cat, okay? Nice local guy in St. Pete. If you live in or around the area, do some business with the guy. He's one of us. Seems like a good guy.
Nah, you'll be good, man. Hey, thanks for letting me join.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Wow, this could be interesting. Now let's do some analytics. Prometheus. I'm going to bring Prometheus up because he probably knows how to help me with these analytics. I'm not going to be doing this for another 2 hours. I'm going to close in about 20 minutes, but I'd like to run through one. Love all the comments, guys. Like I haven't even been able to get to them. This has been so interesting. Yeah. You know what? I've been trying to get Jeff and Ryan, and for some reason we've had some, I don't know. I've had a couple of people tell me they're having a hard time getting a hold of me, and that's so not like me. So I got to figure out what's going on. But love the comments and Prometheus, what are you doing, man? How you doing? Good to have you.
Gary. Good to see you. I've been listening to you, and yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm just having some late night dinner and listening to you and the markets, and yeah, I think we're coming into a very strong crypto season. It's not your like bull bust season. I think with Trump like embracing Bitcoin as he did. And even with his own project of World Liberty 5, whatever you want to think of it, he's getting into this game for sure. I think we're coming into a very positive season. So a great time to do everything. You met him, right? You met him.
The T-Man?
The T-Man. What was that like?
Yeah, dude, I tell you what, he I'm 5'7" on a good day with big heels. And I have been around people before who tried to use their size as a an alpha move. Donald Trump, at least for my eyeballs, looks completely different on TV than in person. One, he does not look like that big of a man. He is not overwhelming. He's 6'3", right? 290. I mean, 260 or whatever.
Yep.
It doesn't look like it, dude. And there is not one. There's like I am not a horrible reader of people. I did not feel 1 ounce of superiority.
Yeah.
Or arrogance. I now like he could be just a total professional. but he's also surrounding himself with other people that I like. I'm like, oh wow, these people are logical. They listen.
Hmm.
Um,
He is a total professional, but he's not phony. Donald Trump is who he is inside out, like that's always the vibe that I've gotten from the man. And, I know how much of his, like speeches and books and things you've come across over the years. Have you read Art of the Deal or any of these classics?
yeah, I've read that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's definitely a mind. I liked one of his books. It's just the title, is such wisdom. Think big and kick ass. And he embodies that. He totally embodies that. As do you and Grant as well, which I really appreciate. Both of you guys have that kind of an attitude. Elon also, he thinks big and he kicks ass. Like, he has these big visions and he gets his entire team inspired to, right, we're going to catch a 23-story building with little chopsticks.
Well, this is the America that I grew up, is the vision of what we did. We thought big and we did big. I think the Pentagon, just for some perspective of how things have changed.
Yeah.
I think the Pentagon took 10 months to build. I mean, do you know, like, we can't build anything anymore, dude. We're complete idiots. China creates a coal-fired power station, 1,000 megawatts, once a week. They might do 2. It would take us 4 years, probably never, in fact, in California, to get a permit to do coal-fired power station. So if we wanted to do something and fix this country, dude, we could most certainly do it.
You can. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you will.
Excuse me, the Pentagon took 16 months to build. It's the second or third largest building in the world, man.
Yeah, exactly. And
16 months. Okay. And that was before we had all this blowhard technology. Okay.
Exactly.
This is 1941 and 1943, dude, when men were men and everybody else was terrified.
As I think it should be, and I think it's going back to. I don't know if you saw the recent Jensen Young interview, CEO of Nvidia, talk about him, Elon, and another CEO. They all sat together, and then, like, to build a supercomputer cluster, it usually takes about a year, and you want to make sure you get all the wiring, the networks, the multiple layers of hardware that's involved, all working together properly. Elon, for XAI, built a cluster in 19 days, Gary. 19 days. We're talking a supercomputer cluster. We're talking all the networking. We're talking the actual infrastructure. In less than a month, the man put a supercomputer, integrated it with Grok, and now I'm looking at some of the, like, the tests, everything from computational strength through to accuracy and a bunch of other things. Grok is kicking ass, considering Grok is what, like a year old, right? Like, since basically after he took over X, he created XAI, and he had a multi-billion-dollar seed round for that as well. So, I think that it's just like when you have that intent, like he has that intent. I can play a conversation he and I had about a year ago about artificial intelligence. We were on a space together on artificial intelligence safety. And I still, like, he liked one of my posts this morning, but his mind is just different. It's a different kind of mind. It's a mind that's exceptionally like yours in many ways, curious, open-minded, but also, defending certain principles. He has this approach, and I'll end the thought with this, which is that he has a first principles approach. He'll take a problem, right? Like, say, it's for a while I saw him live learning about uh, what's that thing where you can encrypt things in the Bitcoin network? I always forget the name. It's not an NFT. It's something else. It's an inscription capacity. Elon learned this from the ground up, and then within a few weeks he was doing it himself. And he asks lots and lots of questions. He tries things. He makes mistakes. He put out a quote recently that failure is an option in my companies. It is through iterations of failure that you get to something new that hasn't been done before, right? So,
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, good to have you, dude. Got any question?
yes, I do. What do you think of that space we were in together with Mike Mack about this crazy levels of corruption that's taken place these 4 years, especially regarding human trafficking?
It's it's depressing to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hard subject, but I think it's all coming unraveled, man. I think there's so many people on this. I think the Diddy thing is a very, very, very big deal.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing, and we should keep pushing on it.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a good time, dude. I think the light has an awesome, awesome way of cleaning up germs and bacteria and shit. So I say we shed the light. Let Trump shed the light. You shed the light. I shed the light, and we keep pounding. Appreciate everything you do on these platforms, because as long as we have the platforms, man, and we can keep connecting people.
Yep.
Like they can't take out 1 billion of us.
No, they can't. They absolutely can't. And a global multi-million, people network of Bitcoin users and just like smart people working together, man, like I'm so excited for this next, 4, 5, 10, 15-year period. I think something amazing is about to happen, and we're just at the beginning of it.
Yeah, I hope you're right, buddy. I think you're right. Hope you're right. Love having you here. I'm going to bounce out of this conversation and see, now I got to figure out how to do this transition thing with people. That feels awkward. But I kind of like the idea of bringing people up, and then if just got to have a way where it flows and it's interesting. Thanks, Prometheus. Appreciate you being here, man. Really do. Let's see. Bitcoin, William. Now, Bitcoin will retrace to 40 before hitting 100. My man, I got to tell you, if I was had a couple of drinks and feeling a little irritable, I might want to make a wager with you on that one. I don't see that happening, my friend. But you could probably buy some puts right now. In fact, I wonder what a put on that. I don't know what time. Well, you said it's going to hit 40 before it hits 100. Yeah, I don't think so. But Bitcoin's going to prove everyone to be wrong at least once. What else we got here? The Last Creed. Thank you for being here. Faith, you explain the word then, bro. That word, faith, you explain. So sorry. If you could maybe help a little bit with the what you're asking, I'd be happy to answer. Literally, the world depends on him. You're saying faith has nothing to do with this. You literally said the world depends on him. Did I say the world depends on him? I don't know who. The world depends on no one, in my opinion. Let's see. Okay, so something or someone stirred up someone's. No, I don't do cigars. I used to a long time ago when I was in England. I find them to be a longer experience than a cigarette. Guys, I'm going to start closing up. I want to say I thank you very much for your comments and your the people that gave money, especially Fire Dog did. Thank you very much. Very kind of you guys. If you like this stuff, I would ask that you maybe give me some feedback. What do you like? What kind of format? See, that's what I really want to know. Hey, what does the format need to be? I am not going to be someone that's going to want to talk about Bitcoin absolutely every day or look at all these curves. And I think there are other things that are really, really important now. And for me, I would like some place, because I can't trust mainstream media anymore. Most certainly I cannot trust. In fact, I'm going to just say it. I can hardly trust anybody that takes advertisers. I think we're all getting ready to be very challenged. Just, I mean, are you guys going to do business with Abercrombie and Fitch if you ever did? Okay, what about the companies that served them? I mean, what? Visa, MasterCard, all the banks that provided all the debt, they didn't know something was going on. This is going to be really messy, and it should be messy. It's disgusting. And that's a need. But see, that'd be, for me, that's a discussion that it'd be awesome to bring some real professionals on here, or people that know what's going on, and we educate you and myself. And, you know, by me helping educate, actually, I get educated. I am probably learning more from anyone on here. I'm probably learning more. So I want to thank you for the time you made, your thoughts. Appreciate your comments. Would appreciate you, though, giving me some comments, what kind of format you want. Got a few more comments that I think are cool. Hi, Gary. Any word on Cardone Digital Ventures hoodie with a BTC logo on it? I will buy one to support you. It's so funny you're saying that. We're bringing it. Yeah, and I love my swag, dude. I love clothes, really soft clothes. So I'm looking for someone where I can buy material, the really nice material. My brother does a good job, but he and I do so little business together. I hate calling him going, hey, who are you using? But I am looking for somebody that need hoodies, some cool jackets like this. Need some caps, dude. I love Bitcoin everywhere. I am a good advertisement for Bitcoin. I can wear this shit really awesome. Here's one of my brothers. My brother doesn't even pay me to wear this stuff. I like this one. Don't be a little bitch. He's just so aggressive, though. See, huh? What we got here? Catch up. Thank you very much. You're the best, Gary. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Jonathan McGrath, thank you for being here. Check out Independent News. Very honorable man of the Most High. Thank you. Got Juan Dela Cruz in the house. Thank you, sir. Christopher Cologne. Prometheus, thank you for being here. Shama blessings. Jonathan McGrath, my favorite video when you spoke about manifesting. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Manifesting is the greatest power that man has over all other animals. Manifesting the ability to imagine and vision. If you guys would be interested in a session or a thing, I don't even know how to talk to consumers. I mean, you know, if you would be interested in knowing how to actually manifest and create visions that can be manifested, let me know. Send something on Twitter. How would I do that? Maybe a survey or something. I don't know. I got to think that through. I should make a comment, but that would be one of the critical things I would do in the first 90 days of building anything. Find somebody that really knows how to do this. Okay. It's usually going to be very successful people. It's usually going to be very successful people. Or they're going to be somebody that put a program together and it tracks a lot of really successful people. I don't know necessarily that the doctors and the counselors and advisors are the best people to do it, but there are some great people out there. Gary Daly, thank you for being here. Gary is a awesome human being, lives in Dubai. He's an investor in Node 40. He's got over a Bitcoin today. That's awesome. He went on the rampage. works for a very large software company. Really legit, man. Just flew over to the United States and actually spent some time having coffee with me in my house. So good to see you, Gary. Thanks for, I guess it's your morning. So let's see, guys, closing up. How does one close up a live? Can you believe this? Can you believe that Anderson Cooper gets paid $20 million a year to do this? He has no content. All he does is interview people all day long. And he's told what to do and what to say. I have not had one script here. Do you understand the power of decentralization yet? I have a $3,000 camera. 2 computers here cost me five grand or so. I mean, I could have done this so much cheaper, and a microphone. Everyone get a microphone and get a camera and say something here. Interact with people. If you know how to bake cookies and you're really good at it, or even if you're not, go figure out how to bake cookies and show other people. This is an unbelievable tool to be able to educate people. We can literally, we don't even have to complain about the old system. We can create a new one. Okay. And all it takes is you and me, admiration of everyone that's doing this. Okay. Support. It's so easy to bang on people. You guys start banging on me, I won't do it. Okay. Like if you're going to get all weird on me, I ain't doing this. I don't really want to be in the public eye. Okay. I don't need it. Don't really dig all the attention. But it's an awesome game to play, and everybody has to have a game. If I have a gift of being able to communicate and stay up late at night, I mean, this is what I was thinking. I'm like, I would love to be able to turn the TV on and watch somebody that's actually making some sense, or engage in a different way. Most certainly my news has to change. And what I'm now, like I'm sticking my intel, I'm sticking a part of my brain into new news systems. And I think that's where we're going to, I think the most we can do to help, someone asked that question earlier, really move us forward, is make sure that everyone around us knows that they don't have to watch CNN or Fox, that they can come here. I don't think people are being introduced into these rooms. And I most certainly will attempt to make it safe for almost anyone to come into a room or watch a recording of something that looks, because it is, but becomes very open, and that we're starting to learn from each other. I can debate someone on almost anything if the other person has a good intention of coming to debate and actually having a conversation that makes sense instead of being right and wrong. We've been doing right and wrong so long. Like I can throw rocks at everyone, but no one can open up their kimono full on and expose it to the world. Well, none of us are perfect. Okay, come on. I mean, I'll probably say things in front of the world that no one else will say, because I just don't get it. We're all human. And I understand humans. I bet I haven't done anything or thought of anything that not one of you have done or not thought of. Gary, love how safe you allow people having a conversation makes sense and striving for progress. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, I'm going to close up. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to sleep well tonight. This was fun for me. I think it's a good result. I'll watch the recording and figure out, but just know if this ever turns out to anything, one Fire Dog funded the entire operation with, I don't know, $600 or so. 2, maybe more. Thank you, bro. And 2, this was my virgin maiden voyage. And I literally do this. This is how I do this. I have been struggling with doing this. I'll go do a recording and then I'm like, fuck it, dude. I'm hitting live and I'm going. And every time I've ever done that in my entire life, every time I have ever done that in my entire life, excuse me, it is proven well. And what the Cardone brothers do really well is we do action better than anybody I know. I mean, we do today better than anybody I know. We don't delay and go, well, let me do it next week. We commit first, and then we take action and we deliver. And hopefully tonight, I over-delivered. I hope I over-delivered. I will under-promise always and attempt to over-deliver. So thank you very much. Hope this was fun for you. If you dug it, if you dig it, please follow me on Twitter, on X, at Gary Cardone. YouTube's cool. YouTube is expensive, but it's cool. And look, right now, I'll pay the premiums to all these people. We need multiple platforms, and we need you to be a content provider. And you know what the best content providers do every day? They do something really nice for somebody, and they don't take credit for it. So good night, guys. Thank you very much. Love each and every one of you. Make sure you do something special for someone in the next 24 hours. See you later.